Right then, let's have a chat about something called HIV. It stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus, which is a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Think of it like this. Your body has a brilliant team of defenders, a bit like a little army called the immune system. This army is always on the lookout for nasty germs and bugs that try to make you poorly. Its job is to fight them off and keep you feeling chipper. HIV, however, is a rather sneaky virus. It doesn't just make you feel a bit under the weather, it specifically attacks the very soldiers in your body's army. This virus is quite particular about how it gets from one person to another. You can't catch it from a hug. You can't catch it from sharing a cup of tea. You can't catch it from a toilet seat, so there's no need to worry about that. It mainly spreads through certain body fluids. This can happen during unprotected sex, which is why using a condom is such a cracking good idea. It can also spread if people share needles, which is something you should never, ever do. A mother with HIV can also pass it to her baby during pregnancy or during childbirth. But thankfully, there are wonderful medicines now that can stop this from happening. It's all about knowing the facts and staying safe, you see. When HIV gets into the body, it starts to make copies of itself, like a photocopier gone wild. As it makes more and more copies, it weakens your immune system bit by bit. At first, you might not even notice anything is wrong, but over time, as your body's army gets smaller and weaker, it becomes harder for it to fight off other everyday illnesses. A simple cold, a small infection could become a much bigger problem. That's why understanding this virus is so important. It's the first step to looking after yourself properly. The main thing to remember is that HIV is just a virus. It's not a monster, and it's not a punishment. It's a medical condition, and like many other conditions, we have ways to deal with it. Now, when HIV first enters your body, it can be a bit of a quiet guest. Some chaps don't notice a single thing for a while. But for many, the body does try to send out a few little signals. This first stage is often called the acute infection, and it usually happens within 2 to 4 weeks after the virus gets in. The symptoms can feel an awful lot like getting the flu, which is why it's so easy to mistake them for something else. Imagine you've had a lovely weekend, and then come Monday you wake up feeling like you've been hit by a double-decker bus. You feel utterly drained, with no energy to get out of bed, let alone tackle a new invention. This profound tiredness or fatigue is one of the most common early signs. It's not just the usual "I need another cuppa" kind of tired. It's a deep, bone-weary exhaustion that doesn't seem to go away even after a good night's sleep. Your body is working overtime trying to fight this new invader, and that uses up a tremendous amount of energy, leaving you feeling completely washed out. One of the most noticeable early signs of HIV is getting a fever. This isn't just feeling a bit warm, it's a proper, full-blown fever where your temperature goes up. You might feel hot to the touch, get all sweaty, and then suddenly feel shivery and cold. These are your classic chills. It's your body's way of turning up the heat to try and cook the invading virus. A bit like putting a casserole in the oven. Another common complaint in the early stages of an HIV infection is having sore muscles and achy joints. It's a feeling that many chaps might describe as being similar to the aches you get after a really strenuous workout at the gym, or after trying to assemble a particularly complicated bit of flat-pack furniture without the instructions. The difference is that you haven't done anything to deserve these aches. They just appear out of the blue, making you feel stiff and sore all over. It can be your arms, your legs, your back. Everywhere just feels tender and unhappy. This is all part of the body's inflammatory response. Among the collection of early HIV symptoms, a sore throat and a headache are two very common culprits that often show up together. It's a rather unpleasant combination, isn't it? A sore throat can make it feel like you're swallowing razor blades every time you take a sip of tea, and a persistent headache can make it hard to concentrate on anything, even your favorite television program. These symptoms are, once again, part of the body's big inflammatory reaction to the virus. Imagine you have a cracking idea for a new invention, but you can't even begin to sketch it out because your head is absolutely throbbing. You might look in the mirror and see that your throat is red and inflamed. Some chaps might even develop painful sores or ulcers in their mouth or esophagus, which can make eating and drinking even more of a trial. It's enough to make anyone feel utterly miserable and fed up. Because a sore throat and headache are such classic signs of a cold or flu, it's incredibly easy to push them to one side. You'd likely reach for a throat lozenge and a painkiller and just assume you've picked up a common bug. So the lesson here is to think about the complete puzzle, but when you have a headache, a sore throat, a fever, body aches and fatigue all turning up to the party at the same time, a few weeks after you might have been at risk, that's when you should pay closer attention. It's your body's way of sending up a flare, signaling that it's dealing with a significant intruder. Don't ignore the flare. Another sign that can pop up during the early phase of an HIV infection is a skin rash. It's quite a common one actually, appearing in a lot of people during that initial flu-like illness. A rash can be tricky. There are all sorts of causes: allergy, new washing powder, heat. The rash from early HIV often has a particular look: small reddish or brownish bumps, flat discolored patches, and it's usually not itchy. Imagine getting dressed one morning and you notice a strange rash across your chest, back. It might also be on your face, hands, arms. It doesn't really itch or hurt. It's just there. This is called a maculopapular rash. Macules, flat spots; papules, small raised bumps. Sometimes the early stages of HIV can cause a right old kerfuffle in your digestive system. This can include feeling sick to your stomach, now nausea, actually being sick, vomiting, or having diarrhea, the runs. Imagine planning a picnic with lovely cheese and crackers, but the very thought of food makes your stomach churn. Waves of nausea can hit throughout the day with no appetite. That can cause dehydration and leave you weaker on top of fatigue and fever. It's a miserable extra to an already rough time. One of the most telling signs of your body fighting an infection is swollen glands, or to use the proper term, swollen lymph nodes. You have these little bean-shaped glands all over your body, in your neck, under your chin, in your armpits and in your groin. They are a key part of your immune system, acting like little filter stations. Imagine you're having a shave one morning, and as you run your hand along your neck, you feel a tender pea-sized lump just under your jawline. You might find another one in your armpit when you're putting on deodorant. These swollen glands can be a bit sore or tender to the touch, but sometimes you might not feel them at all unless you go looking for them. This swelling, called lymphadenopathy, is a classic sign that your immune system is hard at work. It's like the little garrisons in your body's defense network are swelling with troops as they prepare for a big fight against the invading HIV. Of course, glands can swell up for many reasons. A common cold or a sore throat can make the glands in your neck swell up. An infection in your foot could make the glands in your groin swell. What's often different with the swelling from acute HIV is that it can be more widespread. You might notice swollen glands in 2 or more different parts of your body at the same time, such as your neck and your armpits. This generalized swelling indicates that your body is fighting a systemic infection, one that is affecting your whole system, not just one localized area. Unlike the fever and the rash, which tend to disappear after a couple of weeks, swollen glands can sometimes stick around for several weeks or even months after the other initial symptoms have gone away. This makes them a particularly important clue. Unintended weight loss is another clue. Feeling nauseous, not eating much, and having diarrhea can make you lose pounds. If you've dropped noticeable weight in a few weeks without dieting and have other flu-like symptoms, it's another piece of the puzzle. Your body is telling you something's wrong. Listen and seek medical advice to get your tummy, and the rest of you, sorted out. When digestive problems come with fever, chills, body aches and a rash, they become more significant. The combination should set off alarm bells. If you get a mysterious, non-itchy upper body rash at the same time you're feeling feverish, tired, achy, that combination is a significant clue. It's a stronger signal than any single symptom. If you've had recent risk, stop and think. Don't just slather on cream. See a healthcare professional quickly to identify the cause and get the right care if it's related to HIV. It's one of your body's most persistent alarm bells, and it's one you really shouldn't ignore. Right, we've had a good natter about all these strange and bothersome signs. The most important thing to take away from all this is that if you think there's even a small chance you might have HIV, getting tested is a truly smashing idea. It's the only way to know for sure what's going on. Worrying about it won't help, but finding out will. Modern HIV tests are incredibly accurate. Modern HIV tests are simple. Modern HIV tests are quick. You can get tested at a GP's office. You can get tested at a sexual health clinic. You can even use a self-testing kit at home. Knowing your status is the first, most crucial step towards taking control of your health. Finding out early makes a world of difference. If you do have HIV, starting treatment as soon as possible is the best thing you can do. The medicines we have today are absolutely brilliant. They work by stopping the virus from making copies of itself. That allows your immune system to recover and get strong again. This means the virus can't do any more damage to your body. Starting treatment early protects your health in the long run and helps you avoid getting poorly from other infections. It's like getting a good mechanic to fix your car's engine at the first sign of trouble, rather than waiting for it to break down completely. Modern HIV treatment can lower the amount of virus in your body to a level so low that it's undetectable. When the virus is undetectable, you cannot pass it on to anyone else through sex. This is a scientific fact known as undetectable equals untransmittable, or U equals U. This is a game changer. It means someone on effective treatment doesn't have to worry about passing the virus to their partners. It removes a huge amount of fear and stigma. It allows people to live full, happy and loving lives. So if you're worried, please don't sit on it. Talk to a doctor, talk to a nurse at a sexual health clinic. They are kind, they won't judge you. They are there to help you with all the right information and support. Today, a diagnosis of HIV is not a death sentence like it was many years ago. It's a manageable, long-term health condition. People with HIV who are on treatment can live just as long and healthy a life as anyone else. They can have careers, they can have families, they can grow old. There is so much hope, so be brave. Get tested if you need to. Remember that looking after your health is the best invention you'll ever work on.